Good morning. This is your breakfast news from AYOGEN online television. I am Akanjola Oluwatosin Esther. Here are the headlines. On our local news this morning, NDLEA retiree abducted over drug suspect regains freedom. Methodist prelate proposes 225,000 ladges for repentant Boko Haram and bandits. On our political news this morning, PDP chairmanship, Northern government split over Ghana, Shema Dankwambu. And on our foreign local news this morning, I want to govern Ekiti again, says Shegun Oni. On our business news this morning, ECOWAS urges CAC orders to fight against money laundering. On our sport news this morning, Nigerian boxers yet to begin campaign for the World Tourney. On our health news this morning, Nima condemns kidnapping, killings of doctors, healthcare workers. On our foreign news this morning, Afghanistan's faces make or break moment, says UN chief. On our entertainment news this morning, Girl Child Day. Girls have no place, value in Africa. Actress Inihado. And full details coming up next. We're going to on a short break now. We'll be right back. NDLEA retirees abducted over drug suspect arrest regains freedom. A retired official of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Benue State, who was abducted by hoodlums, has regained his freedom, guided that the retiree was released a day after he was kidnapped in his house. The retiree, according to a source, was taken away after NDLEA officers arrested a 19-year-old suspected drug dealer, Maungan Achir, in Aliade headquarters of the Gwen East local government area of the state. Our correspondent learned that the female suspect was arrested with 5.5 kilograms of cannabis and 120 kilograms of diazepam on October 6 in Aliade. The hoodlums, according to the source, demanded the release of the suspect in exchange for the retiree. A request that was jettisoned by the agent was told that the retiree was later released unconditionally. The retired officer has been released and the suspect is still in custody, the source said. Both the NDLEA commander in the state, Florence Ezeonye, and the command spokesman, Philemon Sanro, did not respond to calls or text messages to their telephones at a press time. Methodist prelate proposes 25,000 naira ladges for repentant Boko Haram bandits. The prelate of Methodist Church Nigeria, His Eminence Dr. Samuel Chukwuemeka Kanu Uche, has advised the federal government to grant amnesty to the detained leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Yoruba nationalist Chief Sunday Adeyemo, aka Sunday Igboho, to end the clamor for self-determination in southern Nigeria. He also proposed 25,000 naira stipend for repentant Boko Haram and bandits. Kanu Uche, in an interview with journalists in Abuja, said many prominent people in the country are the listening ears of the agitators, who the government could use to dialogue with the separatist champions. He also suggested that the federal government should pay 25,000 naira monthly stipend to repentant bandits and Boko Haram members, since hunger and poverty drove many of them to embrace terror and banditry. He told the regime of the President Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, not to underestimate the influence Sheikh Ahmad Abubakar Gumi could exert over the bandits in the north. He said if the government, rather than criticizing Gumi, engages him positively, he can bring a solution. You don't dismiss him and say he is a bad man. If he goes to the bush and bandits have confidence in him, the government can dialogue with them. Let me tell you, these boys are being used by politicians. If you engage them and be paying them 25,000 naira monthly, they will not kidnap. All they want is food. I support amnesty for them the way it was done in the Niger Delta region. It quelled the tension. Let government also offer amnesty to Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Adeyemo and say, come, let us dialogue. I have volunteered to dialogue with Christians from the southeast and let the federal government involve me and people like Chief Emmanuel Iwanyawu. It is not that we are part of the clamor for secession, but we know how to talk to our people. Let them involve some of the notable bishops. On our political news this morning, PDP chairmanship, Northern government split over Ghana, Shema, and Dankwabu. Ahead of Wednesday's Northern Caucus meeting of the People's Democratic Party, the North Central Zone of the party is scheduled to meet tonight, Tuesday. This was gathered in Abuja on Monday that Northern Party leaders are yet to settle for a consensus candidate, but each of the three zones are working on presenting one candidate each to compete for the sole ticket. A party source privy to the development who spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of retribution said this whole thing is getting more interesting. Governors from the North Central will be meeting tomorrow night. The Benue State Governor, Samuel Orton, is pushing hard for Iyocho Ayu to emerge from the North Central, but the Plateau, Niger and BOT chairman, who is from Nasarawa, are pushing for Professor Jerry Ghana. Kwara and Kogi are undecided because they are torn between supporting Ghana and former Kogi State Governor Ibrahim Idris. We are likely to see Shema emerging as the choice of the Northwest and former Gombe State Governor Ibrahim Dankwabu emerging as the candidate of the Northeast during Wednesday's meeting. Party leaders from Plateau State, Senator Jonah Jang, Senator Jerry Uzaini, and the BOT chairman Walid Jibrin from Nasarawa State are opposed Ayu, arguing that they were not consulted. Why I want to govern Ekiti again, says Segun Oni. Former Ekiti State Governor Segun Oni has said his decision to join the 2022 governors race was predicated on the yearning of the people of the state for good governance. Oni said while speaking to journalists after submitting his expression of interest and nomination forms at the headquarters of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja on Monday. He said we are responding majority to the sentiments people have been expressing in our state about the service we rendered to them when I was the governor of the state. Based on that, the people believe that they and us still have more to give to one another. That is why we have decided to take it upon ourselves to run again for the governorship of Ekiti State, so that by God's grace we'll be able to render more service to our people. Asked if he has plans to continue from where he stopped in his first term, he said, am I going to continue? My answer will be yes, because what we rendered was very much appreciated as good quality service. Because it is appreciated as good quality service, that's what they want. Again, we will begin from where we stopped. There are a lot of things we did not take to conclusion. We will have an opportunity now to justice to them. So we are going to start from where we left. But we'll take the state further down to a new terrain where we'll be able to add more value, much more value to the lives of the people. On our business news this morning, ECOWAS urges CAC orders to fight against money laundering. The ECOWAS Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering has called on the Corporate Affairs Commission to integrate with law enforcement agencies for the full disclosure of beneficial ownership to enhance transparency and prevent money laundering in the country. ECOWAS Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering representative Dr. Timothy Melaye stated this at an interactive section organized by the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Financing Terrorism Civil Society Organizations Forum in Nigeria in Lagos on Monday. Melaye said in terms of beneficial ownership, it is important that the identities of those who own companies are known so that crime can be dealt with. The issue of independent autonomous money launderers can be identified so that you can take the wealth from those who cannot explain the source of that wealth. While legal aspects can come forth, everyone should be able to provide evidence for his source of wealth. Now, with the autonomous money laundering laws and the unexplained wealth order of the United Kingdom, you can be arrested when you have not committed anything if you cannot explain your source of income. In an interview with journalist Melaye said, "We've had the Panama Papers and now the Pandora Papers. Each person would receive a list of people in their countries. The law enforcement should engage them and find out the authorities of those lists. And if there is anyone who has broken the law, they should pay for it." He said fronting was not only about stealing money and giving it to you, but creating an avenue for you to create wealth through pseudo monopoly, which causes tax evasions, amongst others. Melaye said illicit financial flow is the movement of funds from one jurisdiction to the other, funds that are not legitimately wrong. It hurts the country where the money is leaving to, the country where the money is going. For instance, the money that would have been used to finance projects and infrastructure, if stolen from the government, would have negative infrastructures. The countries that receive money, also because they are not money for investment, but to hide the money from proceeds of crime, it distorts their microeconomic indicators. On our part, the chairman AML/CFT CSO Forum, Efe Anugwe, the best the civil society organization could do was advocacy and awareness at the grassroots, because it was not a military arm and was not equipped to do any form of arrest. On our sport news this morning, Nigerian boxers yet to begin camping for World Tourney. With barely 2 weeks to the start of the 2021 NBA Men's World Boxing Championship in Belgrade, Serbia, Nigerian Boxers Championship Nigeria boxers are yet to begin camping for the event. The event is scheduled for October 26 to November 6, with the opening ceremony and official draw billed for October 24. Our correspondent learned that a total of 8 boxers we are making frantic efforts to ensure that we get funds to fly the team for the tournament. Meanwhile, national boxing coach Anthony Nwajoke has expressed disappointment at the boxers' inability to attend major tournaments in the last 2 years. Every time we have a competition, what we have them say is that there is no money, and that is very disheartening. The boxers have not competed in AIBA events in the last 2 years. They only get to attend to competitions like the Olympics and Commonwealth Games. This isn't good for these athletes. Their dream is to represent the country and win medals. On our health news this morning, NIMA condemns kidnapping, killings of doctors, healthcare workers. The Nigerian Medical Association has condemned the kidnapping and killing of doctors and other health workers by bandits, particularly the recent killing in Anambra State. Professor Baba Issa, the chairman NIMA Kwara State, condemned the act at a new conference on Monday in Ilorin to commemorate the 2021 Physicians Week. Issa called on the federal government to do all within its power to rescue those in captivity and ensure the security and safety of all health workers as well as every other Nigerians. He also appealed to state governors owing doctors in their employment salaries and allowance to pay them so as to prevent further frustrations among the workforce. According to him, not receiving remuneration after performing one's duty is highly demotivating and clearly unacceptable. Speaking on the brain drain phenomena among medical doctors, Issa said that government must urgently address the situation, otherwise the consequences of turning a blind eye to this will be ominous. He said that the theme for the Physicians Week, Nigeria is the COVID era, health system strengthening for pandemic security, national and prosperity, was apt in view of the pandemic being characterized by both first and second waves and emerging variants. Issa commended the federal government for establishing the neuropsychiatric hospital in Budo Egba in Kwara State. He said that the NMA would soon organize a screening of doctors across the state, adding that doctors must be healthy in order to care for the sick. The NMA chairman implored residents in the state to get their COVID-19 vaccine while reiterating its efficacy. On our foreign news this morning, Afghanistan faces make or break moment, says UN chief. The United Nations chief urged the world to prevent the country's economy from collapsing, warning that Afghanistan is making a make or break moment. The United Nations chief on Monday urged the world to prevent the country's economy from collapsing. Secretary General Antonio Guterres also appealed to the Taliban to stop breaking its promises to allow women and girls to work and girls to have access to all levels of education. 80% of Afghanistan's economy is informal, with women playing an overwhelming role, and without them there is no way the Afghan economy and society will recover, he said. He said the UN is urgently appealing to countries to inject cash into the Afghan economy, which before the Taliban takeover in August was dependent on international aid that accounted for 7% of state spending. The country is grappling with a liquidity crisis as assets remain frozen in the U.S. and other countries, and disbursements from international organizations have been put on hold. Right now, with assets frozen and development aid paused, the economy is breaking down. Mr. Guterres told reporters at UN headquarters in New York. Banks are closing and essential services such as healthcare have been suspended in many places. The United Nations chief said that injecting liquidity to prevent Afghanistan's economic collapse is a separate issue from recognition of the Taliban, lifting sanctions on freezing frozen assets or restoring international aid. On entertainment news this morning, Girl Child Day. Girls have no place, value in Africa. Actress Iniedo. Nollywood star Iniedo said girls have no place and value in Africa as she weighs in on the international celebration of female children on Monday. The International Day of the Girl Child, held every 11th of October, is focused on celebrating and enlightening the girl child about our opportunities in the world. Speaking about the place of the girl child in the society, Edo took to a verified Instagram page to argue that girls are not really valued in Africa. The actress said on this 11th day 9 years ago, the United Nations released it was necessary to recognize the girl child. It has been of great honor for the girl child to have a day to be marked and celebrated. But so far, have they really been celebrated and valued in Africa? Another question to be asked. Religiously, we understand that all men are equal, but in Africa, women aren't anywhere close to being equal. The girl child is the model of all children, but in Africa, the girl child has no place and value. We can only move forward by carrying the girl child along. Our society can only be a better place when the girl child can stand, represent, and speak up for our people. Today, I celebrate with all the girl children. It is our day. It is our time. Never relent in your pursuit in all that you do. We are getting there and we will be there. God willing, happy Girl Child Day. And that will be that on our breakfast news this morning. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Highlights of our new breakfast news this morning. On our local news, NDLEA retiree abducted over drug suspect arrest regains freedom. Methodist prelate proposes 25,000 naira largesse for repentant Boko Haram bandits. And our political news this morning, PDP chairmanship, Northern government split over Ghana, Shema and Dankwabu. On why I want to govern Ekiti again, says Shegun Oni. On our business news this morning, ECOWAS urges CAC orders to fight against money laundering. On our sport news this morning, Nigerian boxers yet to begin campaign for world tourney. On our health news this morning, NIMA condemns kidnapping, killings of doctors, health care workers. On our foreign news this morning, Afghanistan's faces make or break moments, says the United Nations chief. On our entertainment news this morning, Girl Child Day, girls have no place, no value in Africa, says actress Iniedo. And that will be that on our breakfast news this morning. I hope you enjoyed watching. Continue to subscribe on our YouTube channel, AYOGEN Online Television. Follow us on Facebook and like our page. So I remain your host, Makojola Oluwatosin Esther. Do have a blessed day.
I want to tell you my story. Listen attentively, no be small thing. Oh, Jack Roti Nigbanyo, Taman lo suku, Tico so walk, what to Sonya. Baba me be a jugidigon, ye me be a jugidigon. I'm a Tony Baba Wona, Tony Mama, low lower. As of when we know why you and we know wow. Want to do a gary, to fit is in oh, damn, load you by my day barrio. Afodano. Tell me talk about your palo. Jaji over. Only born. Titi, you let me, you're my junior. Jaji over. Kilo shell. Oh, bello shell.